Hey friends, today we're going to make a value cake. The first thing we need to do is draw our cake. So we have our paper vertically up and down. We want our cake to be super tall. And we're going to make it look like there's a slice cut out of our cake. So we're going to start with an upside down V, and you want to make it wide. You don't want a super skinny V. Now I'm going to turn my paper because it's easier to do this part, but you're going to connect those lines by making a very tall letter C. That's going to make an oval-ish shape that makes it look like our cake is going back into space. So then we're going to draw a straight line down. This is the cut of our cake. Don't go all the way down to your paper. Leave a little bit of space. You're going to do the same thing on the other side, about as long as your first one. That's the other side of the cake. We're going to draw the same upside down V at the bottom, connecting those two lines. Then we're going to connect the middle parts with another straight line. Then on the sides, we're going to draw a line straight down, and it's as long as the middle of the cake. We're going to do that on both sides. Draw a straight line down, stop about where the middle of the cake is. Then we're going to connect the side, but we're going to make it a curve because we have a curved cake. So we're doing a parallel curved line, just like the top of our cake on the bottom. We are also going to turn our paper and draw another really tall C, but at the bottom of our cake. That is to make it look like our cake is sitting on a plate, so it's not just floating in space. Now we're going to make the layers. So you're going to make a diagonal line. You're going to make another diagonal line. These are the layers of our cake. We're going to do these on one side first, then we'll do it on the other side. We're doing it at an angle so it looks like there's a cut into the cake. So you're going to start in the middle and draw a line to the other edge. So it's like making a bunch of upside down V's, but it looks like the cake is cut and the cut is going away from us. And then all around your cake you can add decorations. You can decorate the top that says happy birthday or congratulations. You can add sprinkles. You can do any kind of decorations that you want. We want it to be detailed, but just keep in mind that you will have to trace your lines, so don't make anything too small or add too many things that you're not going to want to trace later. We also want to add the line to make it look like our cake is sitting on a table. Then we're going to trace all of our lines. You know the deal. Trace every single pencil line that you can see so it's nice and bold and beautiful, and we can see your lines really neatly. All of your decorations, all of your lines, trace it all with the Sharpie. Then our next step, which is super important, is we're going to take an eraser and erase all of our pencil lines, because the way that we're going to color our cake in, we don't want any of those extra pencil marks on our paper. So we're taking our nice vinyl erasers, the white ones that are in your buckets. You're going to make sure you get all of those lines off of your paper, and you get all of that eraser dust on there. If you brush it off onto your table, it gets on everybody else's artwork. So just make sure that after you erase, you shake off your eraser dust into the trash can. Sometimes you have to rub your paper to get that eraser dust to not stick to your paper, but we just want to make sure it's not on our space. Then we are going to have to do the middle of our cake. And the middle of our cake is going to be done with colored pencils, and the rest of our cake is going to be done with a regular colored pencil. All around your cake is going to be done with regular pencil, inside with the colored pencils. It's kind of backwards. So we are going to make a value scale, and what that means is when you take a pencil or any other material and you make that one material look lighter or darker. So when you have a pencil, it depends on how hard or light you press. So I started off really hard pressing down with my pencil, and I got lighter as I went. You can do that in separate values, or you can do it as you are coloring like I'm doing here. You gradually lift off the pressure of your pencil. You can also do it with colored pencils, but it's a little bit different. So to make a color super dark, you can take a black color pencil and put a little bit down, and then color your color super hard on top of it. So that in the next one, when I press my color super hard, you can see that there's a difference. One is definitely darker than the other. So we're still doing the same thing with the colored pencil that we did with the regular pencil. You go down and you press a little bit lighter each time so that it's still the same color pencil, still the same purple, but it's different values of it. So that value scale is what we're going to be putting in our cake. And we're going to start at the top because it's a lot easier for us to go from dark to light than it is to go the other way. So at the top, I'm going to take my black color pencil, color very lightly in that top tier, that top layer. I want to make sure I fill it in all the way, coloring very evenly. If you press too hard, it makes it dark and then you have to even it out. So start off light and make it dark later. And then I'm going to take my purple, I'm going to color super hard on top of it to make that darkest value at the top of my cake. And this is going to hurt your hand, it's going to make you tired, it's okay. Just take a break, come back to it. Make sure you fill in that entire top layer. So that's our darkest value. Now I have to sharpen my pencil because it used up a lot of the lead. Make sure it's secure. And the next one, I'm going to just use the purple but press very hard. You're going to keep going lighter with each layer that you do until you have your lightest at the bottom. Then for the rest of your cake, you're going to use your pencil and color all of the elements of your cake with different pencil values. You can only have one part of your paper that is white. So you can decide whether it's the background, your table, or your cake. But everything else has to be shaded in with your pencil using different values. Because we want us to be able to see what parts of our cake are light or dark without having to use lots of different colors. We're learning how to use values to show depth and color changes instead of just using colors. Alright, now everything is shaded in, but we have one more thing. We want to make this look round. We want our cake to be 3D. And how we're going to do that is on the outside of your cake, you're going to make a very dark pencil value, and you're going to use your pencil sideways so that it makes that curve, and you're going to create a value scale on your cake so that it's darker on the outside and gets lighter towards the middle. That's going to make it look like there's a shadow on the side of your cake so that it looks round. That's how you make something look 3D, make it look like a form instead of something just flat on your paper. And using your pencil sideways makes it have that curve. So the values and the direction of the pencil work together to make it look round. And you're going to do that on both sides. So the very far sides of your cake are super dark with your pencil. Then you're going to shade it to be lighter towards the middle of your cake. And I turn my paper upside down. It is okay to move your paper around so that you are more comfortable using your materials. You have to figure out how you like to hold your paper, hold your materials in order to get the job done. And we want to make sure this is nice and finished and polished. Our cake looks round, everything's done. And the last thing that we're going to do is sign our artwork. Take a Sharpie, write your name at the bottom so that everybody knows who made that beautiful cake. And you are done.